Hi everyone, and welcome to my Simple Intentional Life. Today we're going to talk about stopping impulse spending. Today I'm going to go over 5 tips to help you resist those spending temptations. When we talk about impulse spending, we're talking about trying to resist temptation. So take today for example. It's a snow day here in the Northeast, and what that means is we're all sitting around, we can't go anywhere. Most of us are on our devices. We're trying to just pass the time, and that could lead to some dangerous spending. Unplanned spending is what keeps us in debt. And for those of you out of debt, it keeps you from saving the most you can so you can build up your emergency fund or add to those sinking funds with no regret. Tip number 1, avoid browsing. You know what I'm talking about. You know, you're home, you look outside and you see a bunch of snow. You're procrastinating having to shovel that snow. Maybe you're procrastinating on cleaning the house, but you decide, just gonna browse, check my email, maybe go online at some of my favorite shops just to see what's happening, right? And then you see a mega snow day sale. For me, Amazon is a big trigger. I find that I can get books online, or I can buy planner supplies, or I can get, grocery. That's okay, right? The problem is, once I'm on Amazon, I'm going all over the place looking at everything they have to offer, and then I'm tempted. So what do? You avoid browsing. Check out Netflix. Do some drawing. Find an alternative activity other than browsing. And if you get those email alerts and sales of the day, click unsubscribe right then and there so you're no longer tempted the next snow day. Tip number 2, review your budget. You might find that this thing that you really want could be somehow worked into the budget, maybe as a sinking fund where you can save a little bit over time and then get that thing. You'll still have to wait, but at least you know when you do get it, there'll be no guilt involved. Recently for me, it's been one of those handy dandy printers that you just plug your phone into. Those are really cute and convenient, and I can justify the heck out of why I need one. But the truth is, if I think about it, I'll realize that my money is probably better spent somewhere else. And the only way to really see that is to review that budget. And if you don't have a budget, then this is the perfect time to start making one. I'll go into my budgeting process in another video. But for now, just remember, if you don't have the money, you shouldn't buy the thing. This brings me to tip number 3, sleep on it. So you really want that thing, right? I really want that phone printer, but I'm going to slow down, take a step back, and remember this quote by Richard Scott. Don't give up what you want most for what you want right now. That way you have a few hours to a day to really focus on what it is that you want, and if it's really worth that amount of money to get it when you know there's going to be an opportunity cost somewhere else. Tip number 4, try to find a replacement for that item that you want. Take for example that iPhone printer that I want. Does this mean that I don't have a printer available to me? That I don't have a printer right there? Does this mean that I can't just walk up the street to one of my local pharmacies and take my SD card and print all the pictures that I want? Absolutely not. You knew that was coming. I can do all those things. All of those things are still going to give me the same result, which is I'll have the pictures that I want to print from my phone. Will it be instant gratification? No. If you feel like you cannot resist the temptation, then okay guys, so you probably are going to hear that snowblower getting rid of some of that snow outside right now because my good old hubby went out and started his trek through the snow. If you find that you just cannot absolutely resist the temptation of whatever thing that is that you want, then you need to ask yourself, what does it mean that I have to have this right now? Why am I so insistent that this thing has to be in my hands right now? Maybe journal about it, or put the thing on hold and walk out of the store and just give yourself a moment to breathe. Take that breath and talk to yourself. Really talk to yourself. They say people who talk to themselves are actually pretty smart. Wait a minute, I'm talking to myself right now. Well, I'm not really, I'm talking to you. I I think that just slowing down, taking a step back, and really thinking about what it is that you want and why do you want it and why do you want it right now might really give you some insight as to your overall spending tendencies. And maybe then you can plan out your spending and your expenses so that way you will be way better off in the future by learning to save more and spend less. Tip number 5, beware of your emotions. Yes, people, the emotions that you feel can really wreak havoc on your budget. For example, if you're bored, or if you're lonely, or if you're angry, you're frustrated, you're stressed, you're hungry, you're tired, all of those emotions can lead to overspending. So what you need to do is recognize that emotion for what it is. It's a feeling that needs a specific thing to help it get better, and spending typically isn't the answer. For example, if you're stressed out, it's the perfect time for a little self-care. If you're bored, come up with an activity to fill your time. Today, for example, I could play board games, I can watch Netflix, I can balance my checkbook, or I can help my husband shovel some snow. What if you're hungry? Well, don't overeat, because that's just as bad as spending, but maybe you can plan a nice meal. Make a meal plan. Check out your pantry, make an inventory of what's in the pantry or maybe in your freezer. You can even try some new recipes. All of that will help you to kind of get distracted a little from feeling like you have to go shop. What about if you're lonely? When you're at home and you work from home or you are stuck at home, loneliness can be a big thing to conquer. What you can do is call a friend. My sister just called a few minutes ago and we spent about 5 minutes chatting, and it really helped to distract me from this video actually. But instead, I could have done the same thing if I was online about to press buy now and just decide I'm gonna call her instead and see how she's doing today. Don't call someone who likes to shop. Otherwise, they'll be like, hey, did you see that Coach outlet sale going on today? So talk about your day, talk about your feelings, talk about your plans for the weekend, what you guys had for breakfast, talk about what your friends did last weekend. All of that will work to distract you from the urgent need to shop. Stop the temptation by asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? Do I really need this? Is there something else that I can use in its place? Do I have the money for it? Should I go check out my budget and make sure that I'm not going to be in a pickle here down the road because I've just spent this money on something that was absolutely an impulse purchase? There are ways to stop the temptations. None of them are easy. And you want to make sure that you take a step back and give yourself the time to think of these things in that moment of, I gotta have it. So if you find yourself wanting something that you know is not planned for, sometimes we kid ourselves and we say, hey, it's for my child, it's for my friend, it's for my sister, it's for my parents. And we just do it because, you know, we're doing a good thing. We're making them happy, or they really need this and I want to give it to them. But you also have to remember that you are in the predicament you're in, or let me say I was in the predicament I was in because I was spending without any type of boundary. And these 5 tips are the boundaries that you can put in place to help you succeed. So if you like this content and you want to see more videos like this, just give me a thumbs up. And if there's some other content you want me to film, then go ahead and put that in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you guys. I would love to see some comments. Take care. Bye. Guys, I want to show you my printer because the reality is I should never ever buy a portable printer when I have this Mama Jama right there. It's a great printer, and believe it or not, I actually got it for free because I won it at a scrapbooking event that I went to. So I'm not buying that iPhone printer. Maybe I'll put it on my Mother's Day list. Oh well, next time.